Good afternoon. My name is Armin. I'm an English language fellow here in Mauritius. And I've decided to create a daily, if not weekly, short video of news happening in Mauritius that's local in English. The reason being that most news is in French or in Creole, and we do have newspapers and magazines in English, but it's not as regular to see it or to use it, and it's even less regular to hear it, unless you're maybe watching TV. So I thought of starting today, February 18th, on a weekly news in English magazine, and its focus is actually on education, which is the exact reason why I'm here in Mauritius. So there was different articles, but the ones that really stood out to me was starting about where different people in Mauritius decide to go study. So the primary places are England, Canada, France, and Australia. And some of the reviews that they said over here was that Australia's good, it's pretty hot, but in terms of the best place that was recommended from this magazine and that was most welcoming was Canada. Now, Canada is really cold. However, they have a very opening and welcoming visa situation for people who are going to do permanent residency there. And also, they actually have recruiters that come to Mauritius and also other countries from different schools saying that you will come, if you come to study in our university, we can guarantee a job for you afterwards. So that's not every school or country that is that upfront and that supportive to students. France is definitely one of the more budget areas. It says here in terms of registration fees. Still also very popular. Of course, England is a gamble, it's saying here, mostly because of the kind of situation with Brexit that maybe or maybe not students who go to study there would continue getting a visa after studying there. And it's still in question in terms of Brexit, which is this situation in England where they're deciding in the United Kingdom how much they're going to break away from the European Union and their kind of policies around immigration and other topics. So the question is, how will this affect students who are coming from Mauritius to study and maybe eventually want to work there? And it's still not 100% clear, but it will have an impact on students. Over here, there's a little breakdown of where students study, and in particular, what subjects they study in each country. South Africa, as well, I didn't mention it before, they go there often to study engineering. There's students who go to Malaysia. The US as well is included. Most students who go there are as well in the engineering area. I would say for Australia, most students go there to study business. And the United Kingdom, a lot of students study law, actually. In fact, I think it was 70% of students in Mauritius who go there study law. Of course, people will go to Réunion in France to study. So what else is interesting on the education front in Mauritius? Well, I had read this one article that really stood out to me. It was about culture. And it was about this man. His name is Hervé Mason. He's a Franco-Mauritian painter. And he was also a writer, and he wrote for Le Mauricien, which is a newspaper here. And he was actually pro-independence, and at the time, the status quo was not independent, so he actually was in jail. And if you could see over here, there's a series of different art, postcard style, that he had created. The first one being of when slaves came, and made in 1972. The following one was when the coolies, or the people from the Indian subcontinent, came, as well, 1972. And finally, the osmosis, or the mixture of the cultures that is Mauritius. So he was one of the first artists from Mauritius that also had European influences because he spent a lot of time in France, where he took Cubism and he didn't just use the African examples of Cubism, similar to Picasso, but also infused more Hindu imagery in his art. Yeah. So he was really an important person. And presently at the Institut Français de Maurice, they're actually having a whole curated art show for him up until the 2nd of February, free admission in Rose Hill. So that is a quick overview of higher studies weekly information in English from this news magazine. And I will continue posting from this magazine and other local newspapers as well. Have a wonderful week.